So I'm going to turn the microphones over to y'all so you can get started.
Good morning. So we proudly represent Louisiana FFA. My name is Abigail Davis, and this year I'm serving as the 2021-2022 Louisiana FFA State Parliamentarian. So a little bit about me. I'm from Pearl River, Louisiana, where I was 4 years at Pearl River High School. All of those years I was in FFA, and I worked my way up in this organization to be here where I am today. So today with me is Cecily.
Hi, I'm Cecily Oliver. I am from Kinder, Louisiana. I grew up in a small town of Fenton, actually, where we grew rice and crawfish. I've been involved in FFA and agriculture my entire life. My mom was a past state officer, and upon graduating high school this Thursday, I will attend Louisiana State University to obtain a degree in agribusiness and hopefully one day go to law school.
Awesome.
So FFA is the largest student-led national organization in the country. It prides itself on premier leadership, personal growth, and career success. I credit FFA for a big part of my personal growth. If you would have told me my freshman year that I would be in a Senate committee giving a presentation for FFA, I would have never believed you. I have grown so much because I have had the opportunity to get out and speak to representatives and different people in different organizations that have truly taught me so much. And FFA helps you find a career readiness. You know, it isn't necessarily a program that's just about agriculture. It's something that every student can find their niche in. And if they really want to find something, they have something for everyone.
So if y'all can see some of these pictures on here, this is some events and things that our students get involved in. So we have these CDEs, which are career development events. These events allow students to get involved in possible careers, competing with others across the state, and taking their knowledge from the classroom. One of them, as you can see, they're petting a horse, so that is one of actually the CDEs, is horse evaluation. Students get to go and be in front of these animals, look at them, observe them, and kind of give their reasonings to a panel of judges on why they think they place these horses the way they are. Then some of our other things is an SAE, so a supervised agriculture experience. So every FFA member is supposed to have at least one SAE that they take on throughout the year. And so these are things that promote kind of taking everything from the classroom, everything you're learning in these competitions, and putting it into an entrepreneurship, or maybe you're working for somebody. So the boy right here in the picture with the watermelons, he actually took on an entrepreneurship. His freshman year, he started growing vegetables and set it up at a farmer's market. And over the year, he was able to expand from a little tiny garden in his backyard to a 1-acre plot of these crops that he grows. And he actually made it to nationals and was a finalist in this specific SAE. His was diversified crop production. And so another aspect of our things is our LDEs, so our leadership development events. This is anything under the sun of presenting a speech, doing parliamentary procedure in front of a panel of judges. So that's just a few things that our students can get involved in. As you can see in one of the pictures, our state officer team got to film with Twyla. So we got to interact and be with these members, go out in agriculture and learn more about it.
Every agriculture education class is based on the 3-circle model. It involves experiential learning, which is your supervised agriculture experience, leadership, which is FFA, and your classroom and laboratory instruction. Personally, I kind of credit my joining of FFA from my agriculture background, and that kind of started with my SAE. My SAE was a swine production placement. My brother breeds and raises swine for those to show at the state livestock show. I was given the opportunity to work and kind of intern with him over in a summer to really learn the ins and outs of maintaining herd health, breeding, to raising and selling these pigs, and that's really what sparked my interest in FFA, and of course the push of my mother. Well, then when I joined ag my freshman year, I was ready to join FFA. I didn't really even want to do anything part of the ag classroom. I was ready to get involved and do the LDEs and leadership development event type deals. So FFA was a big part of my personal growth, but my favorite part ended up being the classroom and laboratory experience. My ag teacher was a very hands-on ag teacher that taught us to go out into the classroom and go out into our shop and really do something. I learned how to weld my freshman year, and it's nothing that I would have probably ever thought when my mom said, well, let's join ag, let's do FFA, that I would have learned. I learned how to weld. That's something most girls don't know how to do. And another thing is I can wire run a wire circuit for a home. I can run it from the switch to the light and that's about it. But still being able to do that is something I was able to learn through our classroom and laboratory instruction in FFA. The three-circle model is a very big part of the ag education and education in general.
All right, so being an FFA across the state, there are so many members, but just in our very own state, there's 11,000 members. Over COVID, we kind of went down, but we're getting back to our numbers. We're getting these students coming in, and we're constantly getting more students. We're looking to expand, though, to go to areas such as getting more into New Orleans and getting more into Shreveport. I think there's only one program in New Orleans, and there's none in Shreveport. But these are key areas with students that'll be very beneficial to our program. We're not only about agriculture. Some of our students have very good backgrounds with agriculture, but other students, they are doing ag fair science projects. They're doing these LDEs, and we're making it to nationals in these competitions because these students are becoming prepared for the real world. So we're constantly growing, and we're constantly taking different backgrounds. I know our schools promote our trade or jumpstart students into our programs, but we're getting a lot of university students coming in because our program allows students to work on themselves personally, to gain leadership skills, and to help get a mindset of what they want to do as a possible career. So that's kind of how our program works in getting these students engaged.
Over the past few years, ethnicity and race has been a big part of the Louisiana education program. Over the past few years, Louisiana FFA has had a minority part of every one of our state officer teams. This is something that has just became a very big deal. The gender population for FFA is only 25% women, and about 75% of it is male. And this is something that many people don't think of, that there would be that many part of females. Females only allowed in the organization about 30 years ago. But 25% of our enrollment is females, but 60% of our leadership positions are held by females. And in agriculture education programs, 50% of those programs are populated by women, but only 60% hold leadership positions and stuff throughout the national and state levels for agriculture education.
So our agriculture education curriculum, there's 3 classes students can take to get a certification. It's Ag 1, Ag 2, and Ag 3. By the end of this, they will be learning across 9 different topics. So mechanics and welding. So this is actually, I just graduated from my school with a level 1 welder's helper in welding. So that is something that our students get to do hands-on. Like Cecily said, she got to weld her freshman year. So they get to go out in the classroom, they get to learn about it, and then they get to take it out into the shop. And another thing is animal science. And the picture on here is actually one of my steers that I raise and I sell for meat production. So I learn about all the digestion, I learn about feed ratios, I learn everything in my classroom. And then we don't have a school barn campus yet, but we do have chickens and stuff, so students are able to go outside, work with chickens, and at least learn a little bit of something about animals that we're learning in the classroom. We also have plant and soil science as one of our focus on our curriculum. And so most schools, they have a greenhouse. So students learn about different things, different irrigation systems, and they get to see it hands-on out in their greenhouses. They get to partake in getting little seedlings and growing them into plants to sell to their community. And then also our leadership, which goes back to we learn about parliamentary procedure in the classroom, and then students get to take on an FFA and use parliamentary procedure in competitions as well as hold meetings and chapters. So these are just a few things in our curriculum that we're very focused on getting students involved in agriculture as well as getting them ready leadership-wise and for career-wise.
As I mentioned earlier, FFA prides itself on premier leadership, personal growth, and career success. Career success is something many students don't really get the opportunity in any other student organization. FFA is helping students find jobs that they can start directly out of high school. My school, for example, has a welding program that takes place 2 nights a week throughout the school year. These students are able to attend this program and get their welding certificate. And this year, we actually have a student that will graduate this week from our high school and be able to go straight into the workforce in welding because of the ABC welding program that was offered through our school. So FFA is providing premier leadership and personal growth, but also having students ready to take that next step with having them know what career they want to take, but also helping them find the career path they want to take if they didn't know. So for example, I did not know exactly what career I wanted to do before becoming a state officer even, But throughout this last year, I've had the opportunity to figure out that I want to major in agribusiness and continue to do my ag background, but that I want to go to law school because I want to be able to promote and educate those about agriculture at a national level. So FFA is definitely helping get for career readiness and for career success.
We would just like to thank y'all for having us today. We were super excited to be able to come and present. So we are opening the floor. If y'all have any questions for us, we would be happy to answer.
We do have a question, Representative St. Ballon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It brings back so much. 10 years of my life, I was blessed to be able to be an ag teacher. I taught ag at Centerville High School, Class B, and had the opportunity of building the biggest ag department in the state. And if everybody could understand what agriculture does, what FFA does, it should be in all schools because of the leadership program. I was fortunate enough that I was, been in politics. I was a mayor, and what my parliamentary team, we lost. We came out first in state, but lost in national. And I had a meat judging team that did win state and won a national. So I can tell you it's one of the greatest programs, not only for students, but for teachers themselves. Because what everybody that comes into the FFA leaves out of there with something that will last forever. And it will teach them everything that basically that you need. And I was fortunate to have 3 that made the state executives like y'all, and 3 of them became professionals. 2 lawyers and 1 doctor out of a Class B school. So I know it works, and congratulations. Please pass it on, because it is one of the best programs for a student if you want to succeed in life. And as chairman of the Community and Technical College for 15 years, it took me to think, but we give scholarships for the FFA. Anybody that comes from FFA, and if you're a state officer, you get a little bit more. So I'm proud of what we did there, and we're proud of what we do for FFA. And thank y'all for coming, and spread the word. Spread the word. We have to get it in New Orleans. We have to get it in the city. And we passing things in ag right now with the market. Well, have a free marketplace that they come in and sell their garden stuff and their vegetables. And this is a program that we're proud of in ag that we passed. The last FFA was there when we passed that, got it out of committee this year. So I'm proud, and I'm very proud to say that I was an FFA teacher. Thank y'all for what you do.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you have another question, Representative Amity?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, ladies. Thank you very much for the visual. I love, I'm a visual learner, so I love being able to see. Thanks for the great presentation, very thorough and very professional. I just had a question for each of you if you want to answer. Looking to the future, from your perspective, what do you think the biggest challenges are going to be for agriculture in Louisiana?
So I can say, we have a growing population. It's expected to get really big by 2050. So probably being able to keep up with agriculture products being produced and factored, and being able to get out to the public is going to be a big problem for us. We're going to have to learn a bunch of new techniques from farming and stuff. Farmers are going to have to go through a lot of changing and learning and being able to grow crops faster in smaller spaces and stuff. So that's probably a big problem that we're going to hit in a few years.
Yes, and I'd have to agree with Abby. Our population is growing, and it's estimated to be 50 billion by 2030. And as the population grows, we're obviously losing farmlands, and we have big companies that are coming in and buying these rural farms from families, and they don't understand that if we don't have farms, we are not going to be able to feed or clothe Americans, and we will not make a growing population. So to meet this growing population, we still have to make sure that we're keeping our rural population rural so that our farmers can continue to farm, but also by just improving the advancement in agriculture and making sure that we're helping our farmers get the advancements that they need. One of the biggest issues that rural farms face today is the agriculture broadband. Broadband is something many rural communities do not have, and we have to push that these communities can get rural broadband to help farmers, because many farming operations are going to automated farming that they have to have.
Thank you very much. Very insightful. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Representative Freiberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ladies, I don't have the experience with FFA that my fellow representative does. I wish I did, because I've always wanted to know how to weld, and I would have loved to have had that opportunity. I just want to compliment you and thank you for being here, and you are such articulate ambassadors for your program, and I am impressed with your leadership skills, and I just wish you the best, and I hope you're able to promote this in the areas that you're still seeking to promote it. But thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Freiberg. Vice Chairman Jefferson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Top of the morning, ladies. As has already been indicated, your presentation this morning was timely and timeless. It was really awe-inspiring. And since we've been here this session, I've indicated a few times wow moments. It was a wow moment. So we certainly appreciate all that you relayed to us, and like Representative Freiberg, in the great metropolis of Arcadia, Louisiana, I did not have the good fortune to benefit from an FFA program, but I am very familiar with it, and you are positive proof that it's central and it's essential. But I do have one question. We sit here and we make policy. We attempt to do things to help, to ignite, to empower, and ultimately to graduate the next great bastion of citizens in this great state. From your perspective, what do you think we can do to aid in your promotion of FFA and to ensure that, again, as Representative Freiberg indicated, welding is something I would love to see at many, if not all, high schools throughout the great state of Louisiana. But we are diverse, and some of us don't have the wherewithal or the means as others do. So what do you think we can do? You're talking to the House Education Committee and our chair. What do you think we can do to help in this promotion and to empower the next group of individuals who will be as excited as you all are?
So I think the biggest thing that the House of Education Committee can do is, this is going to be a goal that would have to be reached over time, but is actually making agriculture education, every student needs to take at least one ag class, even if it's just your basic entry level ag 1, because every student has to have some type of agriculture in their daily life. And I think it also needs to be integrated in our younger schools, because many younger students do not understand that they cannot just, their food does not just appear on the grocery store shelves, that their food comes from a means of many people working to get that to the shelf. And we have to make sure that we're educating them for that, but we need to make sure that agriculture education programs are in every school, even if it's just your entry-level Ag 1 that teaches you your basics, because this is a need and this is essential for students to understand where agriculture and where their things are coming from.
Okay.
Same thing from Cecily's. So about the whole thing with the junior highs, coming from St. Tammany Parish, we are one of the only parishes in the state of Louisiana that has junior high programs. We have 5 in our parish, and then I think over in Area 3, there's 2 or 3 junior high schools. But for most of these students, like when they get to high school, it's pushing, like it's either you got to be university, you have to be tech. It's like there's no option. As soon as I got to high school, I had to know which path I was going to take. And I feel like being able to put this in junior highs, allowing students to kind of see before they get to high school and get pressured into taking a university path, then maybe it might not be for them. Maybe they need to take that path where it's an ag class being in there and learning about these trades. So that's something maybe implementing more of a, instead of our teachers used to always say it was like if you went tech, it just kind of wasn't your thing. You had to do university. And so I think students just feel like they're pressured into taking a university, that they don't consider ag as a like ag as a career, because it's more than just actually welding though. It's being, I mean, going through ag, you can come into here, like you went to be an ag teacher and now you're here. So being in ag kind of helps you a whole round because it promotes those premier leadership, personal growth, and career success.
And you all have achieved a rarity in this committee, a double wow. I will not be here past next session, but I look forward to getting with you all and maybe trying to choreograph. We'll be limited next session on what we can introduce, but I'm very impressed, and maybe we can try to start with a resolution or some type of legislation. But thank you so much, and thank you for the pen. I will wear it with pride.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. One more question by Representative Phelps.
Thank you. Just more of a comment. I was listening to you all in the back, and I just want to tell you that you are the reason. The reason you're in the position is to be just for your next generation. So much that you have to offer. There's a reason that you are tomorrow's leaders. There's a reason that I look forward to you sitting in these seats in your generation. You're the reason why this committee exists. If you stay today, there are other things on our agenda that have nothing to do with education and the reason that we're here for you all. But you have just inspired me to keep going as it relates to our next generation. I have, as a recruiter, I used to love when students were interested in ag because that's an area, as you stated, that goes unheard of, and all of the opportunities that are there, not just with farming, but for computer science and administration, just all of those. And having worked in that with youth development in my area just this year, I love your numbers with the ethnicity stats, and that's what we're trying to raise in the urban areas. So it, again, just confirms what you all are doing. Southern University, A&M as well, and LSU across the state. But thank you so much for what you do, and I feel your passion. I think I met, is it Vice President down here?
Yes, ma'am.
I met you last time, huh? I think I did say, hello, Miss Vice President. Well, nice to see you all again, and I am so inspired, and I look forward to you all being the future of Louisiana.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Phelps. Thank y'all for being here. Y'all have an awesome program, and we're honored to have y'all today. Keep up the good work, and be sure and keep us involved in your request. And it was a great comment about the ag classes, and we need to make sure that we can try to make that happen. But thank y'all so much for being committee. Thank you.
So thank y'all for having us today.
Okay, committee.